what is going to happen in the future, okay? Individuals awakening on Earth. Is there going to be more individuals awakening on Earth in the future? And what is to come for them in the future as far as spirituality and spiritual paths for them in the future? The other thing that I've noticed with the readings that I've given is individuals are having all sorts of experiences in the past year to 2 years of spirit attempting communication with them, their homes having spirit in them. Probably was always there. It's just that now you've become more sensitive so you can feel that energy in your home more so. But I'm just going to tune in with my guardian angel, Agnes, and see if she has anything she wants to add to this in regards to what is to come in the future for so many on Earth. Spiritual paths, huh? I guess we'd have to actually be awakened,
Yeah,
and be searching for a spiritual path, right? You know, when I was brought up, I wouldn't say I was spiritual. So I can't even say I was on a spiritual path. Although I know some are awakening much earlier than others. I wouldn't even say I awakened probably until the age of 28. Whereas for yourself, you awakened way earlier.
well, you and I both know that it's both kind of like you can partially kind of awaken first, and then later
Yeah.
you're like, oh, now I kind of get it, more. But well, awakening is kind of a continuous journey, but usually there's like a set moment kind of where you kind of kind of figure it out a little bit more. Like I think maybe with you, maybe it was when your archangel or when an angel like expanded in front of you
That
or
got my
something like
attention.
that. Sometimes it's like one significant moment, and then like really makes you actually bring the energy to the surface, and you really believe it.
Big time.
It really
Yeah,
does make a difference.
you can't ignore that. You're like, holy smokes. And even then I didn't even know what it was. So it took me a minute or two. So, as far as a spiritual path and what's best and what's not, you know, what type of spiritual paths or trajectories that you have taken, which ones have worked for you? I guess reading material, classes, courses, people that came out with maybe, meditation videos for you to watch. What worked best for you?
Well, I mean, first off, sometimes people don't really know how to meditate, and there's no right way to meditate, really. But I think finding some guided meditations, especially earlier on in your spiritual awakening, is really good because it kind of brings in the new programming and stuff like that. Because sometimes we're not aware of our old self or old programming, and some people will call it like shadow work or something like that. You don't have to do that, but just recognizing that there's different parts of yourself that aren't necessarily very healthy. Like you have a lot of belief systems that are kind of negative towards yourself, like maybe self-hatred and things like that. And those aren't very healthy, so you kind of want to release those, and that's kind of the first step. I feel like one of the first steps, and then you can bring in the new programming, and that's why some of these meditations are actually pretty good. They help me a lot.
I just knew something was changing inside of me, and what really helped me is reading material. A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, Journey of Souls by Michael Newton really helped me. And then even, a lot of Lorna Byrne, her material, angels in my hair, and, and then angel cards really help me, or also known as oracle cards, because, okay, it's one thing to learn about these things, but I want to have more of a connection. I want to have more of an understanding as to who's around me, who's here helping me, who's here in my life, especially when I had that experience where my guardian angel opened up and then crossed through my body, moving me into a totally different, like completely from despair to blissed out of my mind, more than I'd ever been in my life. And I was a happy-go-lucky kind of girl growing up. So you can imagine if I went, 10 times that, it wasn't normal. So for me, it was angel cards really helped. And then over the years of using those, I started to realize that the angels were guiding my hand to the cards, showing me which cards they wanted me to choose, what guidance they wanted to come through with, through these loving, high vibrational, beautiful, angelic cards that have such an amazing frequency to them. So, that's...
I don't actually really need to use them anymore, but you go back to them just because it's nostalgic.
I'm like, you're like, it's comforting, cozy.
It's comforting.
But I'll hear my guardian angel say, you don't need to use those. I'm like, I know. But they're a stepping stone. How do we get from this side of the bridge over to that side of the bridge? And for some, we need a tool. So how do we get from here to there in regards to channeling and mediumship? And it's just a beautiful, beautiful path to be on. And that is where I took everything that I've learned from the angels and put it all into these courses, including the Mediumship for Beginners course, which is coming December 1st for 2 weeks, which I'm really excited about. And it is just going to be, it always is. It's always unique and different, but it's a wonderful high vibrational journey. And I'm so excited that you and Beth are joining me. And we also have a special teacher joining us, a fourth, for the D. She's going to be joining us this course coming up. I'm so excited because, Dee used to be in my courses, and now Dee is offering mediumship, readings. And now she's going to be stepping forward and helping teach the course. So I'm so excited for that. And we are coming live on Friday. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Every course is different because there's always different people that are in the courses. So there's a different energy with each course. And sometimes there's more people, sometimes there's less people. And people always ask us, oh, how do I communicate with them? Well, you have to start first.
It's really
so I think this is a great, if you feel like this is one of the best ways to start doing it. And there's no difference. Like, everyone can do it, okay? And it's not just some spiritual gift.
You have it, you don't.
Only one person in the world can do it.
Everyone has it. Everyone's using it.
Yeah. But I feel like everyone can communicate in their own way. And the only difference between me and someone else that's taking the course is that maybe I have a little bit more confidence or something.
Be more auditory. Somebody might be more feeling. Somebody might be more visual. Somebody might be like picking up on a knowing and insight, information popping in their heads is quite different. So we start to develop these other channels, but you can't get to where you want to go unless you, I don't know, practice. Each one of us brings our own unique flavor and energy to the mix. And I just love that. I just love every bit of it. So now when I was younger, my mom would send us off to the babysitters often. And the babysitters, sometimes it was the weekends and sometimes it was on Sundays and sometimes they'd be taking us to church with them. And that was kind of my rip the Band-Aid off quick version of going into, church and sitting there and being like, holy smokes. And sitting, in the little school program for kids afterwards. And For me, that never resonated as a kid. However, as an adult, as I've moved along on my path, I love going and sitting in some of the churches near my home just because they're so beautiful, gilded gold and beautiful energy in there. And I love to sit and communicate with all the energy in there, which is exceptionally high vibrational. So, just depending on what feels best and what feels right. Each one of us is very unique, like a beautiful snowflake. So if something resonates and works for somebody else, it's not necessarily going to resonate and work for you. Whereas you might be guided in a completely different trajectory that resonates with you, and there's a purpose and a meaning and a reason for it. Why? Why am I being pulled in this direction? And I even say that in regards to anything that I say or offer online. If it doesn't resonate with you, if it's not feeling like if it feels tight or a pullback in your body, or your stomach is twinging, this may not be for you. This isn't what is best for you. It's like some people, they love shadow work and they're so all about shadow work, but it never resonated with me. And I didn't know why until one day I remember channeling Mary Magdalene on camera, and Mary Magdalene said, instead of shadow work, let's do light work. What's that? And light work is focusing on the high vibrational aspects of your reality that you want to manifest more of. Okay. What is it that you appreciate? What is it that you're grateful for? What is it that you love? What is it you like in your life? And then I thought, yeah, and everybody that's focused heavily on shadow work, 10, 15 years down the road, they're still focused on shadow work. Like,
well, when you look at it, the light will transmute all the darkness within you, everything. So it's not really necessary to focus on that as much anymore. And there's different, stages of people's spiritual awakenings as well. And also, spirituality in general, and this movement, I don't get caught up on things like, oh, this is the thing, this is the way I have to do it. Mm-hmm. There's not one way to do something. And you'll look at something that's done 20 years ago that may have worked for you, but it doesn't work for you anymore. Maybe those guys, I don't really necessarily do those guided meditations anymore. So that's the cool thing about it. That's why I don't, when people say, oh, only follow the Bible or only follow religion, that was 3,000 years ago. A lot of these books were written, so they're not necessarily going to work for everyone. Okay. Maybe you can adapt it to your own, modern spirituality. Like, you still communicate with Jesus and beings like that, but you do it in your own way. Yeah. You don't have to follow some book.
And I remember, when we did the your Starseed Origins course a couple months ago, I had a student come in to the course. Star is her name, and she was in my courses 6 years ago, and she's had massive amounts of changes. And she was telling me, I'm just completely in a different trajectory. Like, the things that I thought about or worried about before, I just don't anymore. And I was really drawn to taking your course again. And she vastly different. So it's amazing to see the differences with people over the years. It's wonderful. So let's talk about spiritual paths that lead down rabbit holes. And also spiritual paths that lead to making one feel down, depressed, controlled, or insecure. What does your intuition or gut instinct tell you? So those kinds of paths, whatever they are, the rabbit holes, huh?
Yeah.
What are they?
I think one of them is, a lot of spiritual people, when they awaken, they open themselves up, and they think that, a lot of things are out there to get them, whether it's negative energies or, oh, what if there's an energy that tricks me or something like that. It's not fun. And always trying to like hold a sacred space and shielding around you all the time, that's exhausting. And I think comes from a space of fear, in my opinion. So there's a thing that's called holding boundaries, and that's a great thing to do. But there's another thing, which is, living in fear and like saying I have to hold protection around me all the time. I think that's a little kind of, I think it's annoying when people, stay there for too long, in my opinion. So I think it's good to just call in Archangel Michael, do what you need to do, call in your angels or whatever, and they can hold these. That's their purpose, is to hold these boundaries for you. You don't need to keep asking 25 times a day.
I was watching a program the other day, and I was just briefly watching it, and these paranormal investigators were going into this house. They're like, if I don't wear this necklace with the cross, I am not protected. Pretty narrow-minded. Like, it's very narrow-minded to think that one little necklace is the only reason why you're ever safe and protected. It's too limited of belief system, but there's a lot of that.
Yeah, if you don't think things are set in a divine order, and there's things that keep things in check, keep things in place. If everything went rampant, there wouldn't even be an Earth. Like we'd probably destroy ourselves at this point. I think if everything if the light just let everything, all the negative just run rampant, that wouldn't be.
I've realized when giving so many readings that there's a reason why certain energies are allowed around certain people. There's lessons being learned, there's growth being had, the soul agreed to it before incarnating. There's so many different reasons. And to think that one little necklace being worn, or, you have to burn some sage and sage your room in order to be protected. It's just so limited of thought and belief.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, there's just roles to play for everything on this earth, and they teach people a lot of lessons, like the role of narcissism. What does the narcissist teach you? Oh, they've taken advantage of you for a while, but what do you think of them after that? Oh, okay. Now you start to love yourself a little bit more. They taught you. These enemies that you said is called enemies are sometimes your teachers. That are the best teachers. So a lot of times these, what are the entity attachments and stuff, they're no different than these, normal people in our lives.
I remember the two brief moments that I've had interactions with narcissists, probably over the span of maybe 1 year. And it was two different narcissists at the same time. And talk about being put through the ringer. But I'll tell you this, I learned the most amount in the shortest condensed period of time over that year than anywhere else, than any other time in my life. And so at first I was really angry. And then I was like, no, look at what they've done for me. Look at what they've taught me and educated me, and, quite intelligent, actually. I can't say no, because it was. But the key is that when I'd had enough and I could see what was right in front of me, then it was time. This isn't healthy for me. Again, this isn't a spiritual path I care to have with these people. And I moved in a different direction, right?
Well, one rabbit hole is, you can say, I'm going to go to the vortex in Sedona, the vortex, I'm going to my whole personality got sucked into the Sedona vortex. Now all I think about is the Sedona vortex. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you feel guided to go somewhere, I think that's great. But especially with I've noticed when people think about 5G,
chemtrails,
and, like microwaves and stuff like that, it's like, they really don't really matter all that much, in my opinion. If you're gonna say, oh, 5G is really bad for you and it affects me, well, of course it's gonna affect you. It's part of placebo, or
if that's where your attention and focus is.
That's how you create your reality. Yeah. So if you say, oh, this can't really affect me, and whenever I tap into the angels, they don't really put much focus on there. Maybe they don't. Some of the angels probably don't like 5G or whatever, but they're not going to let it affect us to the point where we're just disabled or something.
I see the 5G shifting and moving in a different direction in the future, is the feel I get of it. It's not going to be around for, 20, 50, 100 years. It's going to evolve into something better for the populace. And chemtrails, I don't even, everyone freaking out about chemtrails. It's like I check in with my team and I just get this calm sensation. There's no need to worry, and that's it. Like there's just nothing there. So the key is before you go, oh, I think I'm going to do Reiki. Oh, I think I'm going to go do this. Oh, I think I'm going to focus over here. I'm going to focus over there. I think I'm going to do paganism. I think I'm going to cast spells. I think I'm going to, where is the slowing down, creating a still mind, and feeling if the path is best for you or not before engaging and going off on it? So a rabbit hole can really take you.
Yeah,
It's insatiable. It's endless. It's about getting grounded.
yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And the point I was making there is like some
Yeah.
people will make decisions out of fear. Like they will, oh, I don't like 5G, so I'm going to move out in the middle of nowhere where I'm isolated, where I don't talk to anyone. I don't really have good internet, so I can't talk to people online. So it's like they're kind of living in fear and then going deeper down
Yeah.
into their conspiracy rabbit hole, and they can't get out of it because they're just in the middle of nowhere, isolated.
Conspiracy
That happens to
theorists,
some people, I've
wow,
noticed.
it's amazing how far they can go. But does it feel good? Does it feel right? Does it feel best?
Yeah, it might be true. Some of the things might be true, but it's like,
If we look at the trajectory down the road, it may not even be around or last that long. So here you are hyperfixating on all these things that may not even be around in 5 years. And you just wasted all your time and energy hyperfixating on these things. It just doesn't make much sense.
yeah, one of the main things that's helped me grounding, and I'm still not 100%. No one's 100% grounded, of course, but getting grounded, getting more connected to my heart chakra has been very important, and that just really helped connect me so much better. And I'm not living in fear as much.
No.
I don't live in fear anymore. I can connect freely to my angels, my guides, and I feel more connected to my heart. In the past, it didn't feel like that. Like I would be second guessing myself. Oh, am I really hearing what all the time? I don't do that as much anymore. Being super hesitant and second guessing yourself all the time. That's one path people go down. I've noticed. At some point, you're gonna have to get grounded, and you're gonna have to,
No
unless you
thanks.
want to live like that the
No.
rest of your life.
And like I've known you for 5 years now, 5 years. So where you were 5 years ago to now is vastly different. It's so different. So when you're ungrounded, when your mind is going, okay, and you can't stop thinking or doing, you're moving, going, you're not feeling anything in the body, you're up in your head a lot of the time. When you're grounded, when you go out into nature, and you just relax, rest more, maybe have a nap, go to bed earlier. You can use rose quartz on your lap to open and ground your lower 3 chakras. You can ask the earth to ground your energy every single day for the rest of your journey here, and she will do it. What is going to happen in the future? Okay. Individuals awakening on Earth. Is there going to be more individuals awakening on Earth in the future? And what is to come for them in the future as far as spirituality and spiritual paths for them in the future? The other thing that I've noticed with the readings that I've given is individuals are having all sorts of experiences in the past year to 2 years of spirit attempting communication with them, their homes having spirit in them. Probably was always there. It's just that now you've become more sensitive so you can feel that energy in your home more so. But I'm just going to tune in with my guardian angel, Agnes, and see if she has anything she wants to add to this in regards to what is to come in the future for so many on Earth. She says many aren't going to be interested in any of this. That's the first thing she's saying. Okay, so there's going to be some that aren't interested in awakening. Okay, and she wants me to talk about a lot of individuals that come to me for a reading are females, and they're noticing their partners, the males, are not interested in this. So there's going to be, just a lot of either not informing them of your spiritual path as you are awakening, or it's going to be possibly resistance from them. And she's talking about my good friend Ashley Cunningham. Her partner was not interested in any of this, and there was resistance there. Like, why are you doing this? You don't have to be, like, I don't understand any of this. And then that's progressed to completely understanding, having his own experiences, having his own guardian angel reach out and communicate with him alone in the car, and seeing the difference that she has made in other people's lives with the readings that she's given and the courses that she's helped to teach with me. Okay, so in the past, and but you know, that be on a certain spiritual path forever. It's the same as if you were in a relationship with someone. Is it always meant that you're meant to be with that person forever? Well, the answer would be no. Everyone is evolving and growing and changing, and it's just going to be more rapid into the days ahead, into the future, a lot more rapid growth and changes to come globally and individually. Okay. And she says that she is, and everyone here on the other side is really excited for what is to come, because there will be so many more that are going to become interested, that are going to start on their path of awakening. They are going to be curious about these types of topics and have questions and want to take classes and courses and learn more, or come for a reading or learn how to do it themselves. And they're very excited about it also because it will allow them to have an open communication and dialogue of with the individuals that are awakening and opening and expanding. So they're really excited because they're actually going to get heard, and the communication is going to be there. She says, you know, we're on Earth. Earth is a place of contrast. Okay. So you're going to have those who are lifting and raising the frequency here, and helping individuals lift and raise their frequency. And you're going to have those who are pulled back, not interested, and closed off, and hammering and judging and crucifying anyone in sight, projecting their insecurities and disbeliefs onto others. And it also helps them feel better. So that's what they do. They regurgitate out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm not here to like prove things to people or prove that this is real. Care about that. I want everyone to have their own experience. You know, everyone needs to have their own experience of this. I'm not here to make people like have an experience or something. I don't know. I'm not here to prove anything. And that's why I think it's good to get around other people that believe in this type of stuff. And it's hard being around people that no one believes in, or no one, you know, talks to the angels. Everyone's closed off. It's hard to be around it. So if you can just be around, try to have some friends that, you know, talk about this type of stuff.
Okay, they come to me for readings and they tell me no one, not a single soul is interested. So if you are living in certain countries where there's just any kind of connection to and learning and growth like this, you are very blessed right out the gate. But if you're not in one of those countries, that's the beauty of being online. That's the beauty of being connected with other light workers, other spiritual beings, and taking classes and courses together, and or just connecting like this together, you know, just chatting with us when we go live. You know, Connor here is saying, thinking about how much effort I needed when I first started channeling compared to now. Wow. I mean, yeah, I remember Connor coming into the Mediumship for Beginners course. What was it, about 2 years ago, Connor? And now it's like crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, and when we were talking about the veil, I think I received something from my guardian angel, and he was saying, you know, this veil is just an illusion of separation between the spirit world and us. It's just an illusion, and the more that we connect with become whole within ourselves, become whole within ourselves and connect our heart chakra and have the energy flowing through our body, the easier that we are going to be able to see past this illusion of separation between the spirit world. So the more complete we see ourselves, or we more grounded we are, the more easier we're going to be able to tap past through the veil.
Right. And also just ascension waves that are coming in, and it's just going to crack you open. And the more you get cracked open, the more you're going to sense and feel and have these experiences. Connor's saying it was a year ago. Holy cow, Connor. What the hey? Dave says, I choose the magical world. Yeah, I do too. And, the old way is the rat race. The old way is the 3D. And if you want to be consumed about certain topics, such as, racing around, paying bills. I mean, if we think that the only way that you're ever going to have abundance is by way of working for money, think again. Okay. Because if you start working with your team and you start shifting into abundant thoughts, therefore creating abundance in your life, you'll be amazed at what you will attract in. I used to hear people talk about this, and I used to hear them talk about the abundance book, and I was like, yeah, okay. I didn't really believe it. And then I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And then I watched. I'm still watching.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah. It's like one of the things that I heard this guy say on YouTube. He's on the Rich Roll podcast, but he was saying, make space for the miracle in your life. And the reason he was saying that is because, instead of just focusing on the outside goal all the time, the outside world, like, with me, maybe it's, sports or my YouTube channel or something. Instead of focusing so much on the outside external world, one of the best things that you can do to make space for miracles in your life or to create abundance is to focus on within. Focus and bring your mind to stillness, or whatever you need to do, focus within. And I think that creates a lot of space for things instead of always putting all of your attention and focus on the outside. Because really, on the inside, that creates our outside anyways. So I think it's really good to, place a focus within our, or they're not advancing in their career or things like that. But really, in the end, this is really all that matters. And really, in the end, this may translate to way more abundance or way more money when you focus on yourself. You don't need to keep, just taking some time aside is what I'm saying. You don't have to spend all your time
I remember saying to my friends, this is the successes I'm having with my business and with me, and they just would be just like kind of a blank look on their faces at first. They couldn't even process what was, because I have not taken the traditional route. I haven't done what they've been doing. Even my longtime friends from my teen years, they're like, oh, well, you always were lucky. You always did have a horseshoe up your I'm like, that's not it though. But they are from their perspective in that more 3D mindset. So they just can't understand. So don't expect others to fully understand where you are or even where you're going.
Yeah, I've had a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things in my life so far, and I'm really grateful for that. And a lot of my friends are like, oh, not everyone can do that, or not everyone can have these type of opportunities that you're having. Oh, that's true, because part of the reason is that I have my energy is congruent with these opportunities. I've worked on myself enough to where I know that I'm worth it, that I can take these opportunities, and that I attract these into my life, these types of people, opportunities. And these other people are looking out on the outside and they're like, he's just lucky. Maybe that if it is luck, well, hell yeah.
You could say that once, maybe twice, but when you see it repeated over and over and over again, you watch as your friends are like, now they just can't comprehend or even understand what it is because they can't use luck as a reason why. And I remember when I decided, I want to change what's going on in here. I remember I want to have more high vibrational thoughts. I want to have more abundance in my life. And I remember the first thing my guardian angel said to me was, okay, well, we're going to start co-creating that into reality. And your job is to keep an abundant mindset. So here are some affirmations for you to repeat. And we want you to chill and relax, sleep, rest, and wait for it to come in. I was like, that's it? I don't have to go work hard, play hard. I don't have to go and, I couldn't believe that was it. And then I watched as work opportunities just came to me. I was able to work from home for a while, and people would refer me to things, and I was just it was so easy and effortless. I was like, okay.
That's so great. You have that influence from your guardian angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I think it's good to have influence from the angels or from positive people around you. But those people that are saying that, oh, you're lucky, or they're not really supporting you, maybe you probably shouldn't spend a whole lot of time around them anymore. That's one of the reasons. You probably shouldn't. You should probably try to spend time around people that inspire you, that support you.
So her question is, how do we move from loving and helping others from a sense of duty to a sense of joy? How? Because if I have to help others from I have to do this. Well, I already did that for years in the 3D jobs I've done. Oh, I have to get up. I have to get out of bed. I have to get out the door. I have to go to this job. No. So move in the direction of joy. And it can be the simplest little things like, someone that brings you joy that you hang out with, or the foods that you eat, or the places that you hang out, or a movie that you're watching. But everything in your life realigns in this direction of joy. And you can even say to your team, please bring me into a direction and a path of joy with people that are high vibrational, and bring clarity as to what is the best path and direction for me to be taking in the future where I can help others. Because I do enjoy helping others. Some people don't.
All it takes is just getting the wheel spinning in the right direction and just building a little bit of momentum. That's all it takes. Just one step at a time. It's not one big step that people have to make. It's just one step at a time. And I think even the small things that you're doing around the house, like things that you kind of have to do. You kind of have to clean your house and do the dishwasher and things like that. Instead of saying, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I want to do this, because you're going to have to do those anyways, so you might as well get the wheel spinning in the right direction with those things. But I see what you mean. If you're going to a job that you hate, maybe it's time to start looking for something else.
For me, it just got to a point where I couldn't make myself go to these work opportunities anymore. And when I asked my angels to help me, they would stop me from going to these jobs on the first day. So what would happen is they would close the chakra in my chest to the point where it was kind of hard to kind of breathe a little bit, and it hurt. And they'd ask me to turn around and go back home. And I'm like, I have $10 in my bank account right now. Nobody cared. And literally, it was 2 days, maybe 5 days later, and it all worked out. But here I was. I have to go. I have to do this. And no, you don't.
You'll get to the point where people don't even understand what you're doing anymore.
No.
Like my parents, my friends, and they don't even. They're just I'll just talk about things. They're I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't even know your name.
So, any last words from my guardian angel that would like to relay? She says, you all are just the best for being here, for listening in, being open to awakening further, expanding further, growing further, because so many here on earth will not be on this path at all, which is okay. That's where they are. That's where they're at. And even that's where they're meant to be. So it's really best not to try and change them. If they want to ask questions, if they are interested or curious, so be it. She says that it's just a blessing to have your light here upon the earth plane. And originally, that is one of the main reasons why your souls chose to come here, because the light from your soul was greatly needed here. Remember that, dear ones. Thank you. This is Kristin's guardian angel, Agnes.